Alrighty, and we're back on the range. I promised y'all I'd be back out here. We'd have some more stuff coming as my health improved. Came out good with my back surgery, and we're out here. We're rolling again. Have to excuse the wind if it whips up. We're outside on the range. Today I want to talk about and lead into what I'm hoping will be a series of videos on the martial use of a pistol or any type of firearm, and how we can set up some training drills that will be cost effective and on the cheap side. First thing I'm going to say, as it pertains to the defensive use of a firearm, it is a tool of last resort. Because of this, we want to exhaust a lesser option if possible. Circumstances may not allow for that. Anytime we discharge a firearm, we have used deadly force. We use deadly force to overcome a threat which would cause death or great bodily harm to a person. In the state of Florida, where I live, we're allowed to use deadly force to protect ourselves or to protect another person from an imminent threat of death or great bodily harm. Nothing more, nothing less. I will also say I am not a lawyer. Florida Statute 790 is what governs us carrying a firearm. Florida Statute 776 is what allows us to use force to protect ourselves or another, up to and including deadly force. Read those statutes, be familiar with them. Also have things like the Castle Doctrine that comes to us from English common law. That's something you need to be familiar with. We use deadly force to overcome a violent felony against a person or persons. The legal standard a private citizen is held to is reasonable man clause. All safety rules are going to be followed during live fire demonstrations, which will be in upcoming videos. I am going to say this right now. I'm wearing eye protection, got a hat on to keep brass from falling in my glasses or down my shirt. Whenever I'm doing live fire portions on the range, I'll be wearing hearing protection. But for this portion, I'm going to lecture. And some things are going to be a bit dry, maybe. In an ideal world, we would all have access to a full service range. That would allow us to work on fine bullseye shooting and scenario-based shooting for defensive use. Okay? Some people don't understand bullseye shooting, and mastering your fundamentals is very much germane to the use of a firearm. If I can't place my shot within reason where I need to place it, I need to go back and work on my breathing, my trigger control, my sight alignment. Now this is a full-size silhouette target, and I'm having to fight a little bit of wind. In an ideal world, and no, I did not hijack these from my department, these were personally purchased, we would not have to use deadly force. Again, it's a tool of last resort. One of the basic drills that's taught is based on a double tap. It involves me placing 2 shots to the center of the torso. The reason we do this is we have vital organs, lungs, heart, things that are necessary for sustaining life and keeping oxygen to the blood. Early mentor in my career, Jim Bunning, said everybody dies of the same thing, lack of oxygen. That's how important it is. These targets, when I purchased these, were about $1.50 a piece. With the economy, I suspect that they've gone up. So we're going to look at some setups that I use because they're portable and they're cost effective in different training classes. One thing to simulate torso shots. 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. You can keep your shots here under stress. You've got a good chance of ending a gunfight. Now, by the same token, on the reverse side of this, we have a 4-inch piece of paper. This 4-inch circle here simulates headshots. And if we're working on finer bullseye stuff, we can start with something like this 8-inch circle on the bottom until we can hit it every time, and then move to the half-size target with the 4-inch circle. Which brings us into one of the basic drills, 2 to the chest. Okay, if I can hit 2 center mass shots in this area, most likely I'm going to put my threat down. People say, do you shoot to kill or do you shoot to wound? I shoot to stop the aggressive behavior. If they have done something so bad to put me in fear of my life where I have to take my gun out, I want them to stop it quick, fast, and in a hurry. If they die as a result of it, that's just the way it's got to be. If they don't, well, they've stopped their behavior. To build on this drill, sometimes maybe an assailant's bigger and tougher than we think. Maybe they're wearing body armor. Maybe they have a layer of fat that precludes a bullet from getting into these vitals. Maybe they don't stop immediately. How do we do that? We fire our 2 shots. Boom, boom, reassess, and we fire a 3rd shot in the head. What we want to do is hold for the bridge of the nose. This is cartilage in here. It's going to put the bullet into the brain, instantly incapacitate our assailant. This drill, we can practice with this setup here. Our big target, firing 2 shots at that, simulates our torso. Small target simulates our head. Some ranges are slow fire only, and they only allow the use of a bullseye type target. They won't allow you to use a silhouette type target. Does that change the manner in which we train? A little. Okay, if I have to slow the drill down and have a second between each shot, I can still fire 2 shots into the big target. And many of these ranges will allow you to have multiple bullseye targets. And reassess, and fire my third shot at the head if need be. Understand, what I'm putting out as far as information is not intended to be used by bad people. This is intended to give good people the tools to protect themselves from bad people. Okay? So we've practiced that drill. We've got it down. That's a good thing. Guess what? Maybe we have multiple assailants. Well, this is where your brain really needs to kick in, because you've got to go into threat assessment mode. This is where this comes in. These are two 8-inch circles, sit side by side. So, with us doing this, now we want to practice either coming from a high ready or drawing the weapon, firing 2 shots. Bam, bam, one on each target. This is where the doctrine of use enough gun comes in. The hot commodity now is the striker fire 9mm pistols, and they get smaller and smaller and smaller. Okay? It's better to be armed than not be armed. But we want to practice with that pistol that we're going to carry every day. In an ideal world, that's going to be where the lion's share of our training comes in. That's the gun that we have put the most in. That's the gun that we bet our lives on and the lives of other people around them. Law enforcement and military, particularly military, have a term called collateral damage. That means they have already anticipated some casualties from a situation. Private citizen does not have that luxury. Every round you fire, you're responsible for. You don't have a department backing you, and you don't have the military backing you. You're responsible for that. Should that slow you using deadly force? Well, again, it's a tool of last resort. But when you have to use it, use it. Now, some of the guns that I'm going to be using in future demonstrations are going to be in various calibers. I'm not going to tell you one caliber is good versus another one.